Okay, Blogger Lady Blue, and we are getting ready to get started in here. So, hope y'all ready and with it. Let's go, let's go. Here we go, here we go. Yep. 2, 1, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey. Uh-huh. Kojo getting started this morning. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Hey, y'all tuned into Lady Blue 4. I am about to do something new, something true. You was always hoping what's your plan. I woke up this morning feeling like I want to dance. New day, new blessings. Answers, questions, no weapons formed against me shall prosper. Been through the fire, I'm a survivor. Satan even tried us, he didn't prosper. So much going on in the world, it won't stop us. Oh, we got faith. All my prayer warriors pray. This is what I gotta say. Lady Blue Radio Show is how you start your day. Hey, this is what I gotta say. Lady Blue Radio Show is how you start your day. Good morning. Hey there. And then the voice said, hey, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Oh, good morning. All right. Good morning, and good morning, everybody. It is me, your girl, your fave blogger, Lady Blue, and I'm coming at you Live. That's right, live from the home of the Cheryl Underwood Morning Show, WMSKOnlineradio.com, where talk radio just got better. Make sure you're joining me on Facebook Live and on YouTube. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Okay, we got a lot going on. Good morning to those of you joining me on Facebook Live. Good morning to here, and a great day and week to you as well. There's plenty going on. It is the start of June. Yes, the first Thursday in June for the Lady Blue Radio Show. We got birthdays, we got hot topics, we're random today. It is not anything in specific. We just gonna talk today because that's what we do here at the Lady Blue Radio Show. We talk. Yes, but before I even get started on anything, I want to make sure that I wish a happy birthday to all my June babies out there. I have a couple of high school classmates that are celebrating birthdays. One in particular, my dear friend who I've known, oh my gosh, since the 10th grade, okay? And that is my friend Dave Latham down in North Carolina. Happy birthday to you. That is on this Saturday. So happy birthday, my friend. Enjoy. And to Baltimore's own Brenda L. Jones of BLJ Fashion. Happy birthday, my dear friend, and also happy birthday to my sister from another mister. That is my dear friend Wendy out in Nevada, Nevada. Her son Thomas is celebrating his birthday today. So Thomas, happy birthday to you as well. If you are celebrating a birthday today, an anniversary, a birth, anything that is exciting, do it right. Be blessed, and don't do anything I wouldn't do, which is a lot, okay? It is a lot. Other than that, yes, Zahir, thank you for reminding me. Make sure you download the free app from WMSKOnlineradio.com. As soon as you get there, you'll see it right there. It says download the app. So download the free app. Take us on the go. Take us on your coffee break, your lunch break, your walk break, your gym break. Just don't break anything while you're doing it. And in my Wendy voice, how you doing? Okay, we got that started and we just gonna keep rolling here. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a very wild week. When I say wild week, I'm talking about from here in the United States all the way across the pond to Britain, London, UK, whatever it is that you wish to call it. The mess is going on over there and it's going on here. Today, I kind of really want to focus on what's going on in terms of the violence that is plaguing our nation because it is getting unreal. I want us to think about our brothers and sisters that are in different cities, besides ours, i.e. Chicago, Detroit, New York, LA, Houston, Dallas, New Orleans, major cities across the continent, okay? Because Chicago, what was it last week? Last week, almost 50 shootings in one day. One day. Now, a lot of you might be asking, Lady Blue, this is supposed to be positive. Why are you talking about killing and this, that, and the other? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because we need to focus, ladies and gentlemen. We are not focusing. We are so busy with the I got to get mine before you get yours mentality that we're not, our compassion, our empathy, and a lot of other things have walked straight out the door. Make sure that you're sharing this video, this broadcast with your friends. Tag them, tell them, drag them, bring them, whatever you got to do. Invite them to come in and share in what we're going to talk about today. Okay. But back to what I was saying. Chicago Memorial Day weekend, 41. Okay, and the majority of those shootings involve children below the age of 13. We need to grab our children back, ladies and gentlemen. Our children are lost. Our children are reaching out to us, and we're not even bothering. We're not taking the time to say, what do you need? Let's sit down and talk. Tell me what's on your mind. Yeah, I know children think they know everything, and they think that they don't need to talk about something. But whatever it is they don't talk about with you as the parent or their significant other or whoever it is, they go run to somebody else and tell. And when they run to somebody else and tell, that somebody else might be their age and not know jack either. Okay, I'm not saying that we're the most knowledgeable people in the world, but we've gone through what they have not. So to be able to pass on some kind of wisdom to these children, and sometimes to these young adults, because these young adults don't know nothing either. Okay, I'm not even going to go into the world millennial. I'm not going to even go into the world, all of that. What we have right now is a generation of people who will not work, a generation of people who think they just need to sit back and just let it come to them, a generation of people who honestly believe that it does not pertain to them. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. When we were growing up, and y'all know I ain't got no shame in my game. I'm 53 years old. When we were growing up, yeah, we were kids. We thought we knew it all, but our relatives put the fear of God and everything else right back into us to know that we did not know everything, and we had to sit, listen, and learn. My son said this the other day. You got 2 ears to listen and 1 mouth to talk. Which one should you be using more of? Okay? Your ears are up there for a reason. Even God tells you to be still and know that he is God. Be still. If you were meant to run all over this place and be all of that, trust me, it would have been said so. And yes, hello, Dr. Holmes. Yes, thank you. I am talking hood. I am talking hood, but I may not. I grew up in what a lot of people consider Bougieville. Okay, I grew up in suburban America. All right, and my parents made it a point to make sure that I read, make sure that I used words that I would not normally use every day, that my diction was there, and all of this other good stuff. So they made that a point. Yes, I went to college. Yes, I furthered my education. Yes, I went through all of that. Yes, I have a work ethic. Okay, I believe if you're gonna take a job, you need to take your butt to work. I believe in that. Okay, and I'm gonna be honest with you. The majority of the people that I have worked with in the last 10 years have no work ethic. They want to sit and they want to wait for it to happen. They want to tell you what to do, and you're the one doing it. They want to give you direction. They see themselves as a supervisor coming in the door and have not learned one single thing about the company. And God forbid that you try to teach them something that they don't know. Believe me, going to college, I'm all for it. Getting your education, I'm all for it. But that degree does not give you the knowledge that going into a book, being on the job for on-the-job training, or having walked a block on the street will give you. Don't knock street knowledge, because street knowledge might save your behind. Okay? Now, I know for myself, I have never been in a physical fight with any other party. Why? Because I've learned to use my mind and my words. And that is something we need to teach our young people. They don't know how to talk. All they know how to do is fight. All they know how to do is, and when I say fight, I'm not talking fisticuffs. I'm talking about go get a gun, wipe them off the face of the earth, and can't nobody do nothing because I done resolved the problem. No, you haven't resolved the problem. You just compounded the problem. You just added strife and stress on top of what was already strife and stress. And now you're walking around nervous, looking over your shoulder 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, unable to sleep, looking 12 years older than your actual age because you've done something you have no business. All of these ridiculous games that are online for teens, all of these different things that they get into because somebody wants to kill off a generation that they think doesn't need to be here. Who died and made you God? Nobody. We all have opinions. We all have minds. God has given us the ability to decide, to compromise, to do things. Like it said, a dog is always going to be a dog. A lion is always going to be a lion. A bear is always going to be a bear. And a giraffe is going to be a giraffe. And a turtle is going to be a turtle. You can't change that. But we, as human beings, have the ability to change our environment. We have the ability to make our environment one that is workable, one that is doable, one that is functionable, okay, that we can function in. One that says, I'm willing to work with you. I'm willing to learn about you, your culture, what it is that makes you tick. Instead of being fearful of it and not understanding why this person is thinking the way they're thinking. But I'm gonna pull back a little bit, and I want you to think about this. It was shown on social media. They had a post that a young child was sitting out like with a lemonade stand. Hey, Shanae, with a lemonade stand, raising money for the border wall. Now, this to me proved that hatred is taught. It is not something you are born with. It is a learned behavior. Look at what we're going through right now. You have one man who has who's wielding power that it was placed in his hands. He did not come with it. He was not born with it. He had to learn it. He wants to close off the United States. He don't want you to travel. He don't want you to go anywhere. He doesn't want you to even walk around the corner unless you can give DNA proof that you are a United States citizen. So he has people living in fear. And I stated this, and I'm just going to go off of this. If you follow Lady Blue, you know I said this. And I try to be very, I remain positive. Do not get me wrong. I remain positive. But I also am a concerned human being. I have compassion and empathy and sympathy for my fellow man. I do. We as a nation are living as domestic violence victims. How, you might ask? Because the one person that sits at the highest seat in this country is the abuser, daring you to go against what he says, thinks, feels, or does, feels that he's privileged and you're not, tells you that what you're seeing and hearing is not really true, goes through deflection. Whenever it's wrong for him, it's your fault. And has you believing that he knows more than anybody else in this entire country. How many people are in the United States? Millions. But one man claims to know everything more than every human being that is either sitting in a position that they have been in longer than he's been in office, that has a background in something that he has no knowledge of. So we as United States citizens are currently the abusee. We are domestic violence victims at the hand of one person, number 45. Now, I want you to just step back and you can agree with me or not agree with me. Right now, it's my show. I'm going to talk about it. Look at the situation. Those of you who know what I'm talking about in the world of domestic violence and intimate partner violence, look at it. It's been said time and time again. He exudes a sign every day. Every day is the same thing, day in, day out. Nobody chooses to challenge this man. You have a group of grown people who will not challenge this man. They are afraid of this man. They are victims. Do you understand what I'm saying? They are victims to what society has deemed the highest position in the land. And this person is running around acting like he is King Midas and can't nobody touch him. Look into this person's background. And it goes right into all this thing with the Central Park Five. We're going to talk about the Central Park Five as well, because, you know, they're getting their due right now. They are getting their due right now with When They See Us on Netflix. It has been dubbed the modern day African-American horror film because you are finally getting a look into what happened with these 5 young men and the lawyers and the detectives. There have been documentaries on this. There have been findings on this. The lawyer who did the prosecution had to resign all of her posts on different places that she was on the board of and shut down her social media because of that. But I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I'm gonna go back to the fact that the United States of America and its citizens are currently domestic violence abuse victims, because they are. I've already talked about what narcissistic personality disorder is. We have one man that is exuding that day in and day out. We have empathizers for this person. We have enablers for this person, all because they don't want to offend. Victims do that, okay? Because they don't want them to blow up. They don't want them to be upset. They don't want them to be in a different frame of mind where somebody can get hurt. That is what's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. That's what's happening over. How do you go to somebody else's house, set foot on their front porch, and start bad-mouthing the people that live there? How do you do that? Except for the fact in your own mind that you think you got it like that. Somebody, please, y'all feel free to call in. 570-763-WMSK, 570-763-9675. Feel free to call in. Remember, this is a daytime show, so keep your language nice. How do you set foot in somebody else's house and start bad-mouthing the people there? He's in his own utopia, ladies and gentlemen. We knew and we saw what was there. He wants you to believe that that's not what you saw. Same thing went on with Nancy Pelosi. That's not what you saw. Same thing went on with the comment for Meghan Markle. That's not what you heard. Same thing went on when it came down to climate change. That can't possibly be true. But we are living it on a daily basis, yet some of us choose to believe this one man against what it is that you are seeing, feeling, hearing, tasting, touching on a daily basis. Is that not domestic violence abuse? Yes, it is. And remember, I had guests on Covenant Connection that told you what the definition of abuse is. Abuse is short for abnormal use. We have an abnormality in the White House. If you were to take this man away from the people that surround him, that includes his kids, that includes his wife, who don't say nothing anyway, if that includes all his advisors, if that includes everything, take him away from all that. Take him away from the television, take him away from Fox News, take him away from all of these entities. Put him in the room with somebody that he has no clue who they are. Nobody did any background research. Nobody did any of these things for him to come out with some lame lame name for him to call them and ask him the same questions that he would have been asked before, and I'm going to guarantee you he can't come up with an answer. The Vietnam War. He didn't go to the Vietnam War because it was so far away. Please, please, and please. You can hop your tail over to Ireland for a golf course that nobody goes to except you. You can hop down to your resort on our dime because nobody wants to tell you that you're overspending your country's money. Under the tax cuts, over 900 billion more was paid, or 980 million more was paid in this tax year to the government than any other year on record. These are the things that we as American citizens need to be aware of. These are the things that we need to be asking our constituents. When are you going to get up off your tail and start asking this man, what in the living blue hell are you doing? He's the president. He's a person. Even Obama took the advice of his advisors. Even Clinton took the advice of his advisors. Even Reagan, even Bush, even though we may not have agreed with everything or anything that they did, they took the advice of their advisors. But you also have to remember both of them abused the office that they were in. They didn't do it for the people, they did it for themselves. And that is what we are experiencing right now, is a man who is doing this to benefit himself. He has been lining his pockets with your money since get-go. But you choose to believe everything that he says. You choose to believe that this man has your best interest at heart. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the work of an abuser. That is the work of someone who thinks that they're more than they are. This is someone whose best friends are telling him, back off, and he won't listen. Howard Stern even had to rethink and go to therapy and relook at his life and reevaluate, and got on national television and said this man has a problem. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone now. We're going to talk about the Central Park 5 in the next hour. What I'm going to talk about right now, before we even hit commercial break, is I do want to hit you all with some positive stories. I had to get that off my chest, because even though we listen to certain entities, you can watch who you want to watch. You can believe who you want to believe. I'm not telling you how to think, feel, whatever. I'm asking you to look at the facts. I'm asking you to do the research. I'm asking you to look at the fact that what you're being told is fake is not fake. It's on record. It's recorded. It's written down. It's right there. It's been there for years. And you wait until now, between 2016 and now, to believe one man who's going to tell you that it's fake, when he's the one that sat down and told you that it happened. That's what I want you to think about. Okay, so let's go look at some positive stories real quick before we step up out of here. Make sure you follow the Lady Blue Positive page on Facebook, and it's under the Real Lady Blue 1, BLUU 1. And my first positive story has to do with a little girl named Piper, who lives in San Diego, who had not seen her father for a whole 5 days. A whole 5 days, and she couldn't contain herself when she saw him at the airport. This little wonder loves her father so much. There's a bond there that we need to repeat over and over and over again with our children. It is just beautiful to see the love that is between these two. Okay. There's also a video that I placed up about from the Epic Times, and it's about no kid should go hungry. And it has to do with a little boy who, during lunchtime, looks in his lunch container and there's nothing there. So he raises his hand to leave the classroom and goes to get a drink of water and stays out of the classroom during that lunchtime because he's hungry and he doesn't want anybody else to know that he's hungry. He returns to the classroom to find that his lunch container is kind of heavy. He goes to open it up, only to discover that there's food in there. Grapes, carrots, a sandwich, all of these different things are in this lunchbox that were not there before. Well, what happened is that his classmates already knew of his plight and made it a point to share so that he could eat like the rest of them. So the point being is that you train a child in the way that they should go and they shall not depart from it. We need to teach our children to be able to give, to share, to know that it's okay to put your arm around your fellow man and say, I got you. We've departed from that, ladies and gentlemen. We really, really have, okay? And even one of the comments read, the hard part is to teach them to do it because it's the right thing to do and not look for praise, because when you look for praise, you're saying, I did this, and it is supposed to be about the person you are helping, not you. We got to stop looking for, and the comment is right, we've got to stop looking for someone to praise us for doing the right thing. Just do it. Do it and feel good about it and say thank you for allowing me to have the means, the ability to be able to share like that. That is what that is about. Okay, that is what makes that a positive story. We need to do more of that. We need more people to come in and just say, you know what? I don't need anything from you. I just need you to be able to go on through your day. I need you to be able to not have to listen to your stomach growl. I need you to be able to continue on, okay, through your day, knowing somebody cared. And we talked about this the week prior about the lunch lady who was fired because she fed a student who was hungry. No student should have to go without food. Some of these kids, this is the only food they get. And even then, some of them will not eat because they will take that and they will put it in their bag and they will take it home so that they're able to either eat at home or they'll share with their little brothers and little sisters. This is where we as human beings, we waste food. Here in the United States, oh, we are complete wasters of food. We will throw away food before we will give it to somebody else. Okay? And then you're going to find people for feeding hungry people. And then you're going to find people who take what's left over and go give it to a homeless person. Who does that? They don't even do that in Paris, in France. They can find if they throw out good food out of the grocery store and don't give it to a homeless shelter. We as Americans need to rethink what we're doing. We're killing off our own because we're too greedy and we think that we're the only ones that deserve it. You are not the only ones that deserve it. We have men, women, and children surrounding us on the daily. We have seasoned people who don't eat, who choose between dog food and a bill, who choose between cat food and medicine. That should not be. That should not be. Stop misusing the power that you have. And you know what? Look within, because sometimes that power that you have is not power that was meant for you. You've taken it out of context, and that's the problem. Hey, Chris. So we need to rethink how we treat our children in school. If they're hungry, we need more programs that allow these kids to come and eat, bring their brother and their sister and allow them to eat and get them safely back home so they're able to do their homework, or work with them right there so they're able to get their homework done. They're able to get all the things done that they need done in order to go ahead and function throughout the rest of their day, their night. A fed child is a happy child. Y'all know that. A child who eats is a happy kid. Okay? And if you got any kids like mine, they hum when they eat. Why? Because it's good to them. It's good to them. So that's why you want them to be happy. So we need to really rethink. We need to really rethink because I'm telling you. Let me bring up a couple other things that are going on in and around Baltimore. Hug, don't shoot. I was talking with Val via social media the other day when we were talking about Chicago. Today in the North Carolina area, if I remember correctly, yes, in the North Carolina area, W.R. Anderson Reynolds Park Recreation Center, okay, has a hiring expo going on. Okay, a hiring expo. There's going to be motivational speakers, companies, etc. Computer access from 12:30 to 4 p.m. If you are in the North Carolina area, you need to check that out. especially if you're looking for a job, you're looking for employment, bring your friends who might be looking for a job, so on and so forth. Get that to Rocket. Today at 5 p.m. here in Baltimore at 940 Madison Avenue is the Community Excellence Walk. Okay, and they're calling on all men to be the change we wish to see in the community. Okay, this walk is to bring attention to mental wellness, economic wellness, building lasting relationships that lead to greater success for our children and our families. The help can be with housing, health and wellness, mentoring, life coaching, expungement, job opportunities, treatment assistance, food, and clothing. You can contact John at 410-456-8923 or Andrew at 443-388-2232. Make sure to take advantage of that, you men in the area. There's also Friday. This Friday is a pop-up skate and bowl party. And this is being State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby is going to be at this, and this is at the Shake and Bake Family Fun Center, 1601 Pennsylvania Avenue in Baltimore. Free admission for youth and adults. Activities, food are free for youth ages 18 and below. Adults will need to pay for main attractions and food. All youth ages and 11 must be accompanied by an adult. So take advantage of that today if you are, this Friday if you have nothing to do from 6 to 9 p.m. So there's plenty going on in the land of Baltimore. And there's plenty of other things. So you can check out Hug Don't Shoot. You can also check out the Lady Blue Positive page, and you can check out the Lady Blue Talk Radio group because there are other things that are going on within there too. I have shared plenty that is going on in that realm. As a matter of fact, let me go bring up a couple of things. So that you all are able to, if you are looking for marketing exposure via Lady Blue, which will be live reads, website placement on my website, social media push, this package is available for $100, and the first 5 to take advantage of this will receive a special surprise from me. So contact me, 443-579-5401, 443-579-5401, in order to take advantage of that package. And before I get off here to go pay the piper, I want to make sure that you all are aware of June 22nd. June 22nd from 2 to 6 is Pamper My Sister, which will be taking place at 207 East North Avenue here in Baltimore. And that is where it's a unique, intimate event for the ladies, where you will be able to get guided meditation, chair massage, face and hand pampering, vegan Caribbean food, drink, and more. So check out Facebook, go to Eventbrite, get your ticket, book your spot. Tickets are $40. You get all of that in the $40. There will be vendors on hand. So if you are a vendor, you're interested in vending in the spot, please contact myself, 443-579-5401, or contact Yvonne at 443-488-2687. And we got to make sure that that number is right on the flyer. Other than that, guys, we're going to take a real quick break. We're going to talk about the Central Park 5 when we come back. We're going to talk about a couple other things that are going on in the news when we come back. And we're just going to make sure that your day remains positive. So keep it locked right here at the home of the Cheryl Underwood Morning Show. That's right, WMSKOnlineRadio.com, where talk radio just got better. Don't go nowhere. Come on back.
Hey, what's going on? This is Court Renee, and you are listening listening to the Lady Blue Radio Show live on WNSKOnlineRadio.com. It doesn't get much better than this. MSKOnlineRadio.com. Commercial free 24/7. This is Devon May, better known as Belladonna Primadonna, and you're listening to the Lady Blue Radio Show live on WNSKOnlineRadio.com. Talk radio just got better. Don't make a move without contacting Focus Movers. They offer affordable moving rates, fast and reliable service, fully equipped state-of-the-art trucks, locally owned and operated, 24-hour call center. You give them a call. Do it today. 443-506-7905. Don't make a move without Focus Movers. 443-506-7905. Free moving quotes, commercial and residential, full service moves, local and long distance. Last second and emergency moves can be done too. They are fully licensed and insured. Call them at 443-506-7905 or book online at www.focusmovers.com. Don't make a move without calling Focus Movers.
Hey, Maurice.
How you gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance? By standing on the wall, get your back up on the wall. Tell me, how you gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance? By standing on the wall, get your back up on the wall. I heard all the people saying, get down on it, come on now. If you really want it, you gotta feel it. Get down on it, come on now. You know that I said, people, what you gonna do? You gotta get on the groove. Hey, if you want your body to move, tell me, baby.
Hey, Ebony.
How you gonna do it if you really don't wanna dance? By standing on the wall, get your back up on the wall. Tell me, how you gonna do it if you really want to dance? By standing on the wall, get your back up on the wall. I heard all the people saying, get down on it, get down on it. Oh, what you gonna do? Do you wanna get out? Oh, what you gonna do? Get your back up off the wall. Dance, come on. Get your back up off the wall. Hey, dance, come on. Get your back up off the wall. Come on, baby. If you really want it, if you gotta feel it, get down on it. Get down, hey, baby, baby. Get on there. If you really don't want to dance, by standing on the wall, get your back up on the wall. Tell me, baby, how you gonna do it if you really want to dance? By standing on the wall, get your back up on the wall. Listen, baby, you got it. Oh, when you dancing, yeah, you show it. Oh, when you move, you know it. Oh, when you dancing, yeah, you show it. As you move across the floor, on it, get down on it, really want it, get down on it, get down on it, get down on it, come on man, get down on it, baby, baby, get down on it, get on there, get down on it, you wanna get down, so what you gonna do? Hey, get your back up off the wall, dance, come on, get your back up off the wall, dance, come on. Come on and get down on it. If you really want it, get down on it. You gotta feel it. Get down on it. Come on and get down on it. Get down on it. Get down on it. While you dancing, get down on it. Get down on it. Oh yeah. Get down. You move me, baby, baby, move. Get down. Get your back up on the wall. Get down. You know I'm watching you. Over there in the corner, with your little friends. Watch you. But take this here. Just settle me for the night. Do it something else. Patiently until I get so far. Leaving firm behind the heavy soul of her strong. Ooh, and we can dim the lights and do anything you like. This is what I got in mind.
In case y'all don't know who that is Jay Esquire with Sexy With It. Till the night becomes the day. You ain't gotta be shy. We can dim the lights and do just what you like, girl. I'm trying to make you see where you need to be. Oh no. I want you right, girl. My baby, let me hold you in my arms. Come on, baby. located 7171 Security Boulevard, Baltimore, Maryland 21244. Men, women, and kids, we do it all with a professional master barber to serve you. Open 7 days a week for your convenience. Please contact 410-944-CUTS. That's 410-944-5889. Please tell them WMSKOnlineradio.com sent you.
Somebody, mama, like you would, treat yours. Nation under God, creation changing lives. Life and tears from faces. We are one nation. Men, it's only right that we respect their women. Don't neglect their women or disrespect their women. We all came from a woman. Y'all remember what God said? Keep your head up. So my ladies, keep your head up. If there's ever a time when you're down, it's just better. Like the world on your shoulders and it's hard to get up. If he your man, he should love you for real. Don't leave a girl and find somebody who will. Somebody who will. Treat somebody's sister like you would. Treat yours. Nation under God, creation changing lives and spaces. Life and tears from faces. We are one nation. Putting your hands on the woman ain't right. You should know it. If you really love somebody, then there's better ways to show it. You should treat her like a queen. Let me tell you what I mean. Growing up as a kid, you wouldn't believe the things I've seen. This domestic violence occurred with some people I knew. I've seen it firsthand. How it escalated and grew. But hard to hold, you just never know what people would do. Just remember, always put yourself first. And if you really love you, then that love shouldn't hurt. If you really love you, then love shouldn't hurt. You treat somebody better like you would treat yours. God, creation changing lives and spaces. Life and tears from faces. We are one nation. This ain't a song, this my soul spilling over the beat. Everybody, yeah, bored, I'm just hoping for peace. Feeling like why the world's so cold. Lately, I've been praying hard for every girl I know. Cause things have got crazy in my city. And there's 2 parentless little ladies in my city. Domestic violence is real. R.I.P. to Harnisha, straight up.
Good morning, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment.
Anybody who's ever been affected by domestic violence. In the words of the late great Tupac Shakur, I just want to encourage all the women all over the world to simply keep your head up. Creation changing lives and faces. Life and tears from faces. We are one nation. We are.
All right, y'all. We will be right back. Stay fresh with us today. Make sure you get your copy at a location near you. All newsstands in New York, New Jersey, Philly, Atlanta, and LA. Bookstores and bookstores in our first country is Canada. Get into the mind of the hard and hungry who has been wronged by the system. This magazine will give you high-profile things, corruption information on what's happening in the G-Mall, police department, and the government. Also, success stories of former inmates such as myself. You know what it is? Celebrity, sports, entertainment,
real estate and financial literacy. Make sure you visit us on our website at StateBSUSMag.com. Our social media at StateBSUS and on Facebook at StateBSUS Magazine. We are the voice of the voiceless for State versus Us Magazine.
All right, everybody. It's me, your girl, your favorite blogger, and I am coming back at you live really quick. Lady Blue Radio Show on WMSKOnlineradio.com, the home of Cheryl Underwood Radio Show, where talk radio just got better. Make sure you visit www.WMSKOnlineradio.com. Join our mailing list for updates, events, shows, more. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at WMSK Online Radio, and make sure you use the hashtag WMSKGrind. I want to bring to y'all a few things. I gave you some things that are going on in Baltimore. I want to give you a few more things. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you get Urban Reality News right in your hand. That's right. That's State versus Us Magazine, your official source to the streets from prison, highlighting high-profile cases, corruption in the police department, government, the prison system, wrongful convictions, and success stories of the formerly incarcerated. If you or someone you know have a story to tell, want a feature or ad space, just contact stateversususmag@gmail.com. That's stateversusmag@gmail.com. You can get your print or digital copy at stateversususmag.com. Make sure you check it out because this magazine is hot. It's got stories in it. You can pre-order the 4th issue, which has Jamila T. Davis on one side and the original Freeway, Ricky Ross on the other side. And you definitely want to get in, on these stories that are in this magazine because it's vital that we understand what is going on inside and outside the G-Wall. I also want to bring to light, ladies and gentlemen, that it is almost Father's Day. If you have not, if you ain't spending on dad, I don't know what's wrong with you. If you can't spend on dad like you spend on mom, something's wrong with you, okay? Especially if your dad has been that constant in your life. Beautiful Blue has Father's Day packages for you, starting as low as $25 and going up to an ultimate package, which is only $86. Would you not spend $86 on your dad, but you got to get your orders in ASAP. So visit Beautiful Blue on Facebook, contact 443-579-5401, or email beautifulblue1, that's BLUU and the number 1 @gmail.com, and get dad the gift he deserves. Okay? All right. Other than that, the other thing that I do want to bring up for you, ladies and gentlemen, is that, here at WMSK Online Radio, we're always looking for that new thing. So we're looking for jazz, gospel, entertainment, fashion, Latin, Caribbean, community, and any other type of show. So if you or someone you know are interested in radio, being on the radio, formulating the show, please send an email to WMSKOnlineradio.com. WMSKOnlineradio@gmail.com. Okay. We want to hear from you, the leader in talk radio, WMSK Grind. That's the hashtag. Make sure y'all use that hashtag when you tag anything that has to do with WMSK Online Radio. I want to give a huge shout out to our CEO and founder, Miss Connoisseur herself, Tia Hamilton, who's out there pounding the pavement to make sure that you all know that WMSK Online Radio is here. And I also want to bring up the fact, ladies and gentlemen, that I myself, Lady Blue, am gearing up for my 5th annual awareness conference here in Baltimore. That's right, the 5th annual 50 Shades of Blue Domestic Violence Awareness Conference is coming up in October. We are seeking sponsors. We are seeking swag bag sponsors. Vendors spots are open. We have a few vendor spots that are open. So we are looking for you. So if you are interested in putting your business on the forefront of supporting domestic violence awareness, if you are looking to get exposure for your business, entrepreneurs, small businesses, this is for you. If you want people to know of you and of your product, we are looking for samples of every kind to go in our swag bags. The swag bags were a huge hit last year. We had everything from an adult coloring book in there to body care, hair care. We had a whole bunch of everything in there. So make sure you take advantage of swag bag sponsorships, event sponsorships, and we have a new level this year where we will be offering radio and magazine placement. So if you are in business and you are interested in getting that exposure where you will be seen not just locally, but nationally and even internationally, you need to get in touch with 50 Shades of Blue Baltimore at gmail.com. That's 50 Shades of Blue Baltimore at gmail.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. We're talking about this on the daily. And real quick, before we go into before we go to commercial break to come right back, I want you all to be aware of that domestic violence is still happening. Does not stop just because it's not October. There are so many things that are going on right now. The biggest thing going on is the what's going on in the transgender community with the killing of recently of some noted transgenders down in the Texas area. We also have a man who was charged after his wife recorded the fall that killed her. Okay, and he was a prison guard. That story is on the 50 Shades of Blue page. And also noted jazz drummer Lawrence Leathers died at the hand of a young man who was in the same place as Lawrence and his girlfriend. This man put him in a chokehold and he lost his life that way. So we need to talk about it because it is the most common killer and we need to get in front of it. We need to put an end to this kind of violence. This is a silent epidemic, okay? A silent epidemic that is just killing off thousands. And it's no respecter of persons. I don't care if you're transgender. It doesn't matter if you're LGBTQ. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, child, elderly, in a good situation, in a not so good situation, in the workplace, on the bus. It does not matter. It happens. And I have seen it more often than not in public, especially with women that are busy emasculating men in public and trying to show their strength. We're going to talk about showing your strength as a woman, as an African-American woman. I want to touch briefly on the Central Park Five because that's a big deal, but we'll deal with that, when we come back. So y'all need to keep it locked. We need to focus in on these few things, and we'll get to them as quickly as we can. Okay. Other than that, I want everybody, if you can just keep it locked right here. We're going to come back to all of these situations. We're going to come back to all of these things that are important, that are affecting our daily lives. And I'm going to encourage you all to please get out there and do what you need to do. Contact your representatives. Know who they are. Know what their agenda is. Ask to see the things that are going on because you, as a citizen, have a right to know what is on their agenda. If they keep it from you, something's wrong. If they're spending too much time trying to hide it, something's wrong. If you do not know who you voted for, shame on you. This is your opportunity to get up on the people who are running. We've got 20 plus candidates that are out there on the Democratic field that are running for the presidential nomination. I haven't heard not one Republican, and I'm not saying that to be facetious. I'm saying that in the aspect of one person thinks he's going to win this entire race and nobody wants to step up against him. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time. We have enough candidates that have enough of an agenda, who have enough substance to stand and say enough is enough. So let's get with it. Let's educate ourselves. Let's do what we have to do. Other than that, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the Central Park Five. We're going to talk about this domestic violence situation. We're going to talk about a few other things before we call it a day. This is Lady Blue of the Lady Blue Radio Show, and I am LIVE live on the home of the Cheryl Underwood Morning Show, WMSKOnlineradio.com, where talk radio just got better. Come on back. It is wristwatch time. Hey, 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 hey. Wristwatch time, moving constant. Ain't no way to stop it, even if you would you lost it. I've been in the game and the ways haven't washed me. You can be the greatest, but it's still gonna cost you. Ain't no way to stop it, even if you would you lost it. I've been in the game and the ways haven't washed me. You can be the greatest, but it's still gonna cost you. Hallelujah. Let it do you. Revolution. My girl, the goddess MC herself, Jane the Lioness. Wristwatch is hot. Wristwatch time moving constant. Ain't no way to stop it, even if you put your mouth spit. I've been in the game and the waves haven't washed it. You can be the greatest, but it still can't cost you. Wristwatch time moving constant. Ain't no way to stop it, even if you put your mouth spit. I've been in the game and the waves haven't washed it. You can be the greatest, but it still can't cost you. I was in the line with anybody who don't respect, but the whole job from the club called, they gon' choose all around the club, so I don't want. All right, Sony Music Entertainment, here's the deal. We're a radio station. Radio. Try more than sugar. Coulda, woulda, but I'm still looking for the handouts and millions. Sorry that it didn't pan out. Sorry that it never worked out. Sorry not sorry, my bro. Pat on the back and out the door like yeah. Wristwatch time moving constant. Ain't no way to stop it, even if you put your loud me. I've been in the game and the waves haven't washed me. You can be the greatest, but it's still gon' cost me. Yeah. Wristwatch time moving constant. Ain't no way to stop it, even if you put your loud me. I've been in the game and the waves haven't washed me. You can be the greatest, but it's still gon' cost you. Why you waiting time? I was 35 when my life and addiction started to spiral out of control. My ex-husband threatened to take our children away from me. I felt hopeless. He called Elite Rehab Placement because I couldn't make the call. I was ashamed. I was given skills to manage my sadness and my anger, and more importantly, I am 3.5 years sober. I'm so grateful for all their help, and all it took was making one phone call.
Elite Rehab can help you start to break your addiction problem and get sober in as little as 7 days. And we'll work with your insurance provider to help cover the costs. Plus, we have travel assistance programs to get you here by plane or train. Make this free call right now to learn more. 800-918-1376. 800-918-1376. 800-918-1376. That's 800-918-1376.
This is Jeanette Mitchell, and you are listening to the Lady Blue Radio Show live on WMSKOnlineRadio.com. Talk radio just got better.
The views and opinions that are expressed on WMSKOnlineRadio.com are those of the guests, hosts, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its management, hosts, or advertisers. The shows founded on WMSKOnlineRadio.com can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or personal practice. These shows offer entertainment only. Thanks for listening. All right, everybody, we are back. We are live. This is Lady Blue, the Lady Blue Radio Show, live on the home of the Cheryl Underwood Morning Show, WMSKOnlineRadio.com, where talk radio just got better. Listen, Listen and listen. Y'all know what to do. You got to keep it locked. You got to take us with you. You got to download the free app. You got to make sure you join us on YouTube, on Facebook Live. You got to make sure you're in the know of what WMSK Online Radio is doing in the community. So make sure you're over there on the website and you're checking it out and you're signing up for the email and you're getting updates and more. And you're following us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, WMSK Online Radio, and using the hashtag WMSK Grind. I want to get back, really quick to the topics I told you I wanted to talk about this last part of my show. I want to talk about the Central Park Five. This was a case that dominated the 80s. And it was about 5 teens falsely accused and convicted of raping and beating a woman in Central Park. And I want you to know that the woman who was the victim has no recollection of what happened at that time, okay? It was years before they were exonerated. Their stories, though tragic, okay, did not get the limelight that it deserved until now, okay? And one of the people that I want to focus on is Korey Wise, because Korey Wise got time behind bars and had nothing to do with any of this. And he got the longest part of this time behind bars than the other 4 who they were accusing. Because Korey showed up to support a friend and ended up being somehow meshed into this whole entire thing that he had nothing to do with. Okay, so first of all, shout out to Ava DuVernay for her 4-part Netflix series, When They See Us. Okay, and the 5 individuals, including the Maryland native that is on there portraying one of the Central Park 5. Now, these 5 individuals were convicted of the rape and assault of 28-year-old Trisha Maley, an investment banker who was jogging through the park. Okay. The boy spent between 6 and 13 years in prison for the attack after being exonerated, before being exonerated in 2002, after the actual rapist, Matias Reyes, confessed, okay? Wise was the only one, Korey was the only one who was still imprisoned in 2002. So he served the most time behind bars in adult prisons, including the infamous Rikers Island. We all know about Rikers. We ain't even got to go into Rikers, okay? But the thing is that he wasn't even a suspect. So the question is, how did he get wrapped up in this? Okay, if you've watched the series, and I do want to give you all this little tidbit, it is hard to watch, but it is something we need to know. The story of Michael Brown was hard to watch. The story of Trayvon Martin was hard to watch. The story of Tamir Rice was hard to watch. The story of Philando Castile was hard to watch, but Sandra Brown, all of these stories were hard to watch, but this is what we need to know so that we're not being taken advantage of. Okay, so Korey went down to the precinct to support his friend Salam when the police questioned him in connection with the rape. However, they decided to zero in on him because he was 16. He could be interrogated without a guardian, and he charged as an adult. The only member of the 5 who was old enough at that time. Okay, age may have been a whole other factor of his vulnerability in this. Okay, so that's why I'm saying they're saying he had hearing problems from an early age, a learning disability that limited his achievement in school. He had a childlike nature. His dad worked at a law office who represented the 5 in the lawsuit, referred to him as the least developed emotionally and intellectually of the boys. So the confession shows, if you've seen any of the documentaries, Wise seems to be the most confused out of all of them because he's trying to figure out what they want. And then after all of the pushing and prodding, he confesses to raping someone he never raped. He was in there for hours until they provided multiple statements, 2 videotaped confessions, all of which conflict each other. Again, watch the film, watch the documentaries, because you're going to see the confliction. And that's the part that bothers me when you see these things. You see the evidence right there, and they choose to ignore it because they want somebody in jail. So who do they pick? Okay. One of the videotape confessions, he claimed that Melly was stabbed with a knife. In actuality, she was struck by a rock after initially being hit with a tree branch. So there's a lot of confliction in the stories and the videotapes, but the only violence he had participated in was at the hands of the police, and that's according to him. Okay, he described being taken to the police precinct as he accused Detective Nugent of slapping him and swearing at him and telling him that he couldn't go home if he lied and said he'd been there. Now, if you've watched the documentaries, this is on video. These things are on video. And it's the same thing that's going on with our current administration. It's on tape, and you're going to deny what you did. Now, the other thing that's happening right now is the fact that the prosecuting lawyer, Linda Farstein, had to resign all 5 charity boards that she was on recently because she's being dragged through the coals on this one. I'm telling y'all need to go read this, because this thing, we need to celebrate these young men, and I'm going to call them young men because they're still healing from all of this wackiness that went on. They are now getting around to finally paying out the over 14, I think it's 14.5 million, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a payout that's due to these 5 men that they're going they're going to receive. And hopefully nothing stops that. But Corey suffered the brunt of this whole entire thing. And even with the confession of the actual rapist, they still kept them in there. This is the wrongdoing of incarceration. This is why they're looking at prison reform. And I'm sorry, but I have to, I'm not a fan. And y'all can disagree with me if you want to, but I'm not a fan of Kim Kardashian being anywhere in any of this until she's either, 1, got her law degree and passes the bar, or 2, she reads up more on what's going on and stops going with her feelings. There, I've said it. Now I'm going to move on, okay? Because I want you all to read up on the Central Park 5. I want you all to know exactly what took place. I want you all to see for yourselves what happened during that time. These 5 young men were bullied into a confession. These 5 young men were bullied to a point where they just said, fine, I did it, get off my back. And they were told they were going to go home, which they were lied to, and they spent the majority of their youth incarcerated. Now, we've heard stories like this before. Khalif Browder. He ended up committing suicide a few years later after getting out because of the mental breakdown of being a young man in solitary confinement. It's slow genocide. Okay. Now, here's a kicker in the Corey Wise situation. While he was in prison, he met the real rapist behind bars who actually admitted to the crime. And then they had DNA to back it up, and then they still ignored it and kept them in there. This is what the problem is. They're saying here, and I'm quoting from Oxygen, it says, one of the things that really struck was when Corey said, there is no Central Park 5. It was 4 + 1. No one has told that story. No one has told that story, according to Ava DuVernay. Okay, I think it's important for people to understand the depths of what it means to be incarcerated in an adult prison in this country. Okay, after Corey was released, he changed his first name from Kerry to Corey, Kerry, K-H-A-R-E-Y, to Corey. He established and funded the Corey Wise Innocent Project at Colorado Law School, which offers pro bono legal counsel to wrongfully convicted people like himself. He says you can forgive, but you won't forget. And this was in the 2012 documentary Central Park 5. You won't forget what you lost. No money can bring back that time. No money can bring the life that was missing or the time that was taken. And he is so right and so true on that. So please, please, please watch When They See Us. Watch any documentary you can on the Central Park 5. Read up on the lawyers and the detectives who had everything and anything to do with this, and you're going to see that it was conspiracy from day one. Okay? Conspiracy from day one. The next thing that I want to talk to you all about real quick is I found an article in Ebony Magazine, and you can read this online as well, but it's about the pressure of being a strong Black woman and it often leads to depression. Because a lot of Black women will cry strength and independence, not completely understanding what that strength and that independence entails, okay? But being a strong Black woman, according to this article, can be related to increased stress and maladaptive coping that can result in depression symptoms. Now, this month is PTSD awareness, okay? PTSD awareness. PTSD is real. It is out there. It is not just from the military and wartime situations. It is for anybody who is in a position where you are put under a lot of pressure, either to do things that you don't normally do, to live up to a standard that you don't normally have the strength for, these different things. So please take your mental health seriously, Black America. It is not wrong to want to go to therapy. It is not wrong to seek counseling. It does not diminish you as a human being, and it does not make you weak. It shows that you are willing to take care of yourself in the matter necessary. Okay, so women, this is for you, and you can read this at ebony.com. Many of us have felt the pressure to live up to the strong Black woman narrative, okay? But that could do you more harm than good. The study was reported by the Side Post, suggests that African American women who are naturally strong and self-sacrificing are at a higher risk for depression in the U.S. Now, I'm not saying that this is gospel. This is just what Ebony had reported, okay? They conducted focus groups. Many women mentioned being strong Black women or looking up to strong Black women in the form of mothers, grandmothers, aunts, friends, celebrities, etc. Author Jasmine Abrams, an assistant professor at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, an affiliate professor at Yale University Public School of Health, says this focus group is but what struck her was how women discussed embodying this role. It was simultaneously discussed as aspirational and overwhelming. Most Black women will adhere to this role, but again, like I said, do not know of the full extent of what they're taking on. It's not a simple thing. When you say you're a strong Black woman, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? Think about that for a second. As I continued looking at this article and reading, says the study, Underneath the Mask of the Strong Black Woman, schema disentangling influences of strength and self-silencing on depressive symptoms among U.S. Black women. Co-authored with Ashley Hill and Morgan Maxwell, consists of 194 participants, all of whom identified as strong Black women. They agreed with statements such as Black women have to be strong to survive, tended to also agree with the self-silencing statements such as, in a close relationship, my responsibility is to make the other person happy. And I rarely expressed my anger at those close to me, which in turn was associated with greater depressive symptoms. Listen, before I even continue on, your job is not to be here to make somebody else happy. You need to make yourself happy. If you are not happy within yourself, how the heck is somebody else going to be happy? It is not your job to do so. If you are in a relationship, if you are in a marriage, your job is to be able to coexist, to work with, to be able to compromise, work out situations, not depend everything in your life on whether this person smiles, laughs, cries, all that. That's their responsibility. Your responsibility is you and showing that light within you. That is what makes you strong. I'm going to continue. Okay, specifically the self-silencing aspect, holding in negative emotions or pretending to be happy or okay when you really are not, is a pathway from strength to depression, according to Abrams. Okay, the professor was sure to acknowledge the positive aspects of embracing the title, as well as saying being a strong Black woman has many benefits, but they can at times come at an expense. The benefits are that the cultural idea helps women to cope with challenging circumstances, helps ensure survival of families, communities, and makes women feel connected to their culture. On the other hand, being a strong Black woman can be related to increased stress and maladaptive coping that can result in depressive symptoms. Now, there's a full study. I will post this link for you to go read, and you can go and read the study for yourself. But ladies, again, it is not your responsibility for somebody else's happiness. That is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is your own self-worth, your own self-preservation, your own well-being. Because when you are happy, the rest of that will fall into place. You do not need to go through all of that in order to be a strong Black woman. Sometimes Black women will also put their strength in other places. And by that I mean their sexuality, okay, their place in society. Like I said, it can be put out in different places. Yes, women, you have strength. You have strength. You've got power of mind. You've got power of spirit. You've got power of sexuality. You've got power of these things, but it's not what you have, it's what you do with it. Every woman out there has that. What do you do with it? Do you lord that over somebody? Or do you show them your strength in being a woman as God created? Do you show them that strength is, I'm not going to let you dim my light. If you're not happy, I can only do so much. Do you acknowledge that? Do you understand the fact that your responsibility is for you? God gave you responsibility for a couple of things. You love your fellow neighbor as you love yourself. Love your fellow neighbor as you love yourself. Okay? And to find your purpose in this life. And your purpose is not to make sure somebody else is happy. You have to find your happiness within. That's when you find your strength. Iyanla Vanzant talks about finding your truth. And you always see her talk about that center right there. Find your truth. What is it that grounds you? What is it that gives you purpose? What is it that causes you to laugh, smile, get emotional, get excited? What are those things? That is where your strength is. My ladies who have come out of domestic violence situations, who are not sure of themselves, who are not sure they're worth their beauty, who are not sure if they're worth the time to be beautiful. Let me explain to you this. I suffered domestic violence myself for years. My self-esteem went down the toilet. I even got to the point of where I was looking at committing suicide. Let me explain something to you. Help is there. We can offer it to you. It's up to you to take it. But when you find your center and you find your ground and you find someone who is able to help lift you up when you need lifting up, and then you're able to break the training wheels and go off on your own, that is called thriving. That is where your strength is. I'm not sure why you can't share, Lakeisha. I will make sure to tag you in it so you can deal with the video. I just want you all to be able to, I'm sorry. I want you all to be able to know that your beauty is within. It's not outside. It's not how you decorate the outside. This is the icing on the cake. Okay? This is the icing on the cake. It is the beauty that is inside. Are you grateful? Are you thankful? Are you able to get up in the morning? Are you able to say, this is who I am? God, thank you for what you allowed me to do. Thank you for what you're going to do in my life. Now let's get it. Put your feet on the floor and let the devil say, oh, she up again. Come on, ladies. You have a beauty that is within you. That is why I created 50 Shades of Blue, Beautiful Blue, Lady Blue Positive, because the positive is in you. When you find your center and you're able to accept your responsibility in a situation, because like it or not, you were in the situation. Okay? You were never responsible for that person's anger. You were only responsible for yourself. So therefore, when you come out of that situation and you find women like myself or other women who are able to tell you there's nothing wrong with you. You are beautiful. You are someone that matters. You are someone that can make a difference, because all you got to do is reach one and you've done what you needed to do. That's all you got to do is reach one. So don't try to be strong for everybody. It just kind of comes down to that. Don't try to be strong for everybody, because everybody will zap your strength and then you'll have nothing left for yourself. And you don't want that. Be strong for you, okay? And then that strength will be, you are that root. And when your strength is rooted, your branches can be that support for others, because they will find shade under you. It's just like it is for a man. When a man is under that covering of God, he is that covering for you. So therefore, you are able to step out and you are able to do what you need to do, knowing that you are covered. So ladies, find your strength within, before you start trying to go out and cover somebody else. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Sorry, I had to type that in. So find your strength within. And there's no better place than to start within. Know who you are. Spend some time with yourself. Okay? Set a routine for yourself. It's not a day-to-day routine, but set something that you do to better yourself every morning. Do you command your morning, or does your morning command you? Do you do something to reset during the day? Okay? I start off my day with positive motivation, and I end my day with prayer and meditation. Okay? I bring myself into where I can reset. Are you in the right circle? Are you cutting off those people who are just milking you versus those people who are there supporting you and lifting you up? Okay? Are you in control of your body? Are you eating right? Are you feeding it right? Are you taking care of your temple? Okay? Are you giving yourself a good home? Some things to think about, right, ladies? Right. Fellas, you can think about the same thing too. Don't give away your power. Are you going too fast? Are you not listening to your body when your body says slow down? Are you saying yes when you really mean no? Okay. Are you getting enough sleep? Okay. That's giving away your power when you don't do those things. Okay. Are you empowering yourself when you slow down, when you ask for support, when you listen and take care and support feelings, needs, and actions? When you share your truth in a kind way. In other words, you don't just blurt it out and tell everybody, just accept it. When you surround yourself with people who love and accept you for who you are, not what they think you're supposed to be, but for who you are. Do you spend time within what God has already created, nature? Okay. Do you get enough sleep? That's empowerment. Are you engaged in a group, in a community activity? It's something with a goal or an intention. Are you creating? Are you helping others? How are you empowering yourself? I can say that. Okay. You need to find your inner strength. Pay yourself. Make it happen for you. Tell yourself you're lovable, you're resilient, you're supported, you have everything you need right now. You attract the love and support that you need. You have those things that you need to get through your day. Tell yourself, these are things to tell yourself on a daily. Okay? Talk to your inner superhero. Tell that inner Shira, I need to slow down for a second. Okay, and I'm going to share these 10 steps for finding inner strength because that's where I got it from, and that's where you need to feel that empowerment within you. That is what you need. Before we even get out of here, I need for you all to make sure that you are sharing, okay, this video, sharing this broadcast. If you join me live on YouTube, thank you. You can go over to the WMSK online radio page on YouTube, and you can find any one of the shows that you would like to replay. If you downloaded the free app, you can catch it on demand, and you can keep rocking through your day to be able to listen in when you can. You can also, I'm going to share this on the Lady Blue Positive page because I think that's where it needs to be. And I'm also going to share this on the Beautiful Blue page because I need for my ladies, because that's where I empower women from the inside out. And I need for you all to feel empowered. If you need to change your circle, change your circle. If your circle needs a different mindset, a different outlook, change it. We're fearful of change. We as human beings are fearful of change. And that's what is sad. Our world is changing on a daily. Our things at work, things that we see on the daily, it's not the same. It changes. And we need to make sure that we're able to accept that change, able to adapt to that change. Those are the things that we should do. I want to give a huge shout out to Kinky Curls. I want to give a shout out to Stronger Than My Struggles. I want to give a shout out to all of those ladies that are out there doing the doggone thing. Okay? There are plenty of women out there that are in business. So I support. This is a new month. Ladies and gentlemen, Support at least 3 Black-owned businesses this month. Support Pamper My Sister, which is coming up June 22nd right here in Baltimore. Support 50 Shades of Blue. Support Beautiful Blue. There, I gave you 3 businesses that you can support this month, okay? And take part and take something away from it. We want to share with our community. We don't want to take away from our community. Try to support at least 3 Black-owned businesses this month, whether you share, like, comment, find, refer, whatever the case may be. But if you can make a monetary purchase, that is what we are all about, so we can start circulating the dollar within our own community. Let me see. Let me make sure that there's nothing else that I'm forgetting. I don't think so. No. I also want to give a huge shout out to Twiz's Creations, to Antoine Twiz Campbell. Antoine, if you're listening to this, I hope you're feeling better, my friend. I know he's been going under some health concerns, so keep him lifted in prayer and in mind. And also, again, a happy birthday shout out to those of you who are celebrating a birthday today. Celebrate it right, do what you do. Also coming up this month is there's an honorary ceremony that is being hosted by Tim's Day. Let me go and find that wonderful piece of advice. But Tim's Day is also hosting an honorary ceremony where several of us around the Baltimore community will be honored for our work within the community here in Baltimore. So please keep that in mind. That is also on the Lady Blue Talk Radio group page, as well as around social media. We've got a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen. There is a lot going on. I think the other thing that I do want to bring in to you all also real quick is I don't have a deep blue thought. I don't have a lady blue thought. I don't have anything that says, I need you to go out and do this, and I need you to make the best of this. What I want you to do is I want you to take care of you. I've said it on Instagram and hashtag do you, boo. Do you. What is it that's going to uplift you? What is it that's going to empower you? And I'm not saying run out there, turn on the lawnmower and run over everything and cut down everything that's not you. It's a process. It's something that you do one step at a time. You change your circle one step at a time. You can't just shut everybody out and then try to rebuild the whole entire thing. You have to look at it and discern. God gave you the ability to use discernment. Use the discernment. Know what is a vampire, a leech, and get rid of it. Okay? And yes, sometimes it's people. Sometimes it's family. Sometimes it's those friends you've been around for years that are smiling in your face and then going and talking behind your back to somebody else. Those that disrespect you by saying they can't support you, but will come back to you and show you everything that they purchased from somebody else that is doing the same thing that you're doing. Get rid of that disrespect. Get rid of that of those things that don't serve you. Even sometimes I got to take my own medicine, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes I got to take my own medicine and understand and know that I'm only doing what I need to do to help uplift who I am. I'm not here to harm anybody. I'm not here to take away from anybody. I just want to be able to live my best life. My best life. That's what I want to do. That's what I want y'all to do, is live your best life. Get out there and give them who you are. Don't fake it. Don't break it while you're doing it either. Don't fake who you are. God made one original, and that is you. God placed a purpose within you that you need to step out and you need to find. And remember that purpose is not always monetarily driven. Don't always think it has to do with money or being in front of the camera or walking on a red carpet or having people scream your name. It's not all about that. Your purpose can be behind the scenes and nobody will ever know you did it except the people who you were with at that time. Because it's not when you were born and it's not when you die, because all of us go through that. It's what you do with that time that's in between. Are you leaving a legacy? Are your children or your children's children going to be able to say, grandma, great-grandma, great-great-grandma did this, great-grandpa, great-great-grandpa? Are you going to be talking about your grandparents, your auntie, your uncles in years to come? I know I'm talking about mine. Mine have made an indelible impact on me. Is your family or those in your community making an impact on you? Shout out to Bro Code for Baltimore for all they're doing. Shout out to Heart Smiles with Joni Holyfield. Heart Smiles Holyfield, sorry. Shout out to all of Shelly Stalo Stevens. Shout out to Charm City C. Shout out to a Starborn One. Shout out to, oh my gosh, there's so many of us that are out there that are doing the doggone thing. But we can't do it without you. We need you. Don't just talk about it, be about it. How many times have you heard that said before? But I'm serious. Don't sit up there and say, I'm going to support you. And then when it comes time to support, you're ghost. We can't find you. We don't know where you're at. We're not chasing you. Because there's always somebody who will take your place. Always. Somebody that will take your place. And God's not going to leave us to grow with the weeds. He's not going to leave us to grow with the weeds. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get out here, enjoy your day, have a blessed and a beautiful day, and make sure that you bless somebody else because you never know. You may be the only Bible that they get for that day. And as we always say here at the Lady Blue Radio Show, weeping may endure for a night, but joy, it does come in the morning. Thank you guys for being a part of my show today. Thank you for sharing with me and listening to me talk back and forth, up, down, left, right. Thank you for that. And also thank you for just being who you are. Join me here next Thursday. Join me here tomorrow for Covenant Connection with my husband, Victor Major, from 11 to 1 p.m. Make sure you download that app. Make sure that you have the opportunity to call in. Write the number down, 570-763-WMSK, 570-763-9675. And I will catch you all later. Peace. All right, gang. I'm out. See ya. All right, YouTube land. See ya.